This is the Eclectic Discussion Podcast.
What's up, everybody? Thank you for downloading and streaming the EDP Eclectic Discussion Podcast. I'm your host, Eclectic. It's me. We're talking board games. Growing up, board games were the thing because we spent a lot of times not having video games. So video games weren't a thing always. And when they were a thing, you might not have had a system. You didn't have a 2600. But before the 2600 was a thing, or while, you only had a few games, board games was it. I mean, and the other thing was your whole family could play. If you're with your friends, you can play. Your mother and father play. Aunt, uncle, cousins, everyone could play board games. And the thing was, in the 80s, especially, it was board game palooza. It was so many games out. I had so many. You go in the closet, they just stacked up, and it's just like, yo, what you want to play? And we'd play. We'd play multiple games of one, or we'd say, all right, let's go play this, and then we'll play this, and then we'll play this, and we have a ball. It was a thing. So I was thinking, well, first I was like, look, let me do my top 10 favorite board games of all time. And then I started thinking about the games that I had, and I was just like, I'll do a top 5. What I want to do is just talk about the games that I remember, some of the ones that I had, some that I wanted but never got, some I have no idea why they existed, but just board games in general, like Pac-Man. Pac-Man, popular arcade game, popular video game on the Atari, but they had a board game. I owned this board game. This board game sucked. But around this time, Pac-Man was everything. It was a video game, it was a cartoon, it was a song, it was a dance. And so this game, so you fold out the game. And this is when the board games was a for real size, not like they made all the board games that you're using right now. They're way smaller and dumber. But this is when they were the regular size. You fold it out, and the board had little holes, and it looked like the Pac-Man maze. And in all the holes, you put white marbles. Those were the pellets that he eats. And the Pac-Man was a big plastic yellow Pac-Man that mouth did some things. So when you put it down on the marble, it went in the Pac-Man mouth thing, bottom. Anyway, and then it had the big ghosts, Inky, Blinky. Oh, what was the other one? Clyde. And Sue. Sue was the girl. Anyway, So you had to move. So it was dice. It was a terrible game. But no, so then in the corners you had to put the yellow marbles because those were the power pellets. Because then when you land on those, you could eat the ghosts like you can on the video game. So yeah, dice, and then you roll the dice, right? Yeah, two dice, and with one of the dice, you move one or the other with the dice number. So basically, so you had so I think you picked which one, and you moved the Pac-Man with one dice, and then the other person moved the ghost with the other one. Something like that. All I know is I had it. I might have played it once. I never played it again. Started just using the marbles to throw at people. And speaking of marbles was everywhere because I had Chinese checkers. I definitely had that. And I remember how to play when I had it. I have no idea how to play that now. But Chinese checkers was fun at the time. It was neither Chinese nor checkers, but that's what it called. Domination. I think it was Domination. I own that. I have no idea how to play. There was some colors and you could stack them, and something happened. But yeah, domination. Like it used to really be like go to Children's Palace, shouts to Children's Palace, and you see a board game and be like, yo, let me get that. Had I known, I would have just been like, give me the G.I. Joes, because it was like $3. But anyway, Operation. Does Operation count as a board game? I just remember I never had it. I remember the people around the way had it, and we never really played it for real. We just wanted to see the nose light up and get the buzz. I've never played it. Candyland and Shoot Some Ladders. I might have played Candyland once. Shoots and Ladders had a VCR game. That's a video cassette recorder, kids. But I never played that either. I never played Mousetrap. I've never even seen it. Outside of the commercial, I've never seen Mousetrap. I am curious to find out if it actually worked. If you know how it was supposed to go, where you get to the thing and the mouse is under the thing and then the trap falls down on it. I don't know. That would have been a thing. I never played it. I never played Risk. I always thought a G.I. Joe version of Risk, I would play that today. If they would have did a G.I. Joe version of Risk. Because you would have had you would have had like Cobra Island and anyway, all right. Battleship. Loved Battleship. I never played Electric Battleship. It looked fun, but my mother used to kill me at Battleship, and I cheated. Like she'd hit or get real close. I real on the sneak pick up my ship and move it over to somewhere where she hasn't called. Oh man, and she still killed me. I think she was cheating because she was taller. She probably looked over. I don't know, but anyway, Battleship was fun. I had Battleship. Life, I never owned it. I might have played it once or twice, but I don't want to get a job and have kids. I'm a kid when I'm doing this, and that's not fun. I don't want life. That's the whole point of being a kid, man, and not think about life. Life is a joke when you're a kid. Trivial Pursuit, I think I played it once because no one wanted to do trivia. And we knew it wasn't things that we talked about or knew. I mean, that's why they didn't want to play, with me probably. But it's like, it's not going to be no cool trivia. It's going to be some, some bullshit that, what is the square root of? I don't know. I don't even know what trivia. What is the most popular fucking Elvis? I don't know. So we never played that. Mr. T had a board game teaming up with Mr. T. Based off the cartoon. They had to get to like an airport. The Mr. T and the gymnastic kids, they had to get to the airport before the clock run out. But there was like errands. They had to like go to the dry cleaners and go to the police station. And there was like punishments. What's the T video game? What do you want? Topple looked fun on the commercial, but no. You had to like balance some stuff on a thing and add pieces to it. And if you got 5, you won. It was like, I don't know. Bed bugs. The game that had the little chopsticks. It was a vibrating bed and you had to get your color out. Or so you had the little chopsticks. You had to pick the bugs out. Ugh. Win, lose, or draw. I never had win, lose, or draw. I always wanted to play win, lose, or draw. I used to love the game show. It used to come on. I think it was NBC. I might be wrong. But win, lose, or draw, I never had that or Pictionary. But I would have killed everybody in it because couldn't nobody draw better than me. So I mean, Twister doesn't count as a board game. I also never played it. I've seen it, but I've never played it. I never understood Yahtzee. If we had dice, we was gonna gamble or play Monopoly. But I'm not trying to Yahtzee. I don't think Connect 4 counts as a board game, but I was nice at Connect 4. Me and my mother used to go at it at Connect 4, but I would always prevail because I'm a genius. Captain Crunch had a video game. I mean, not a video game, a board game. It was Adventure Island. and you got it by sending points from the cereal. And you had to find Sogmaster and get Captain Crunch's treasure chest. You had to get his treasure chest from the Sogmaster. There was a WWF WrestleMania VCR game. Then they had a WWF Wrestling Stars game. The VCR game, you'd move and then you had to go to the tape and see a move or something. And Superstars, you had to win 2 matches with 2 wrestlers. And they had you had the little wrestler on the stand things. You had Piper and Big John Studd. I love Big John Studd. And Junkyard Dog, Andre the Giant. There was an Uno board game. Even though there was a card game, there was an Uno board game. Not sure why. This doesn't count as a board game, but I loved Hangman. Hangman was so dope. You had these plastic things that you open up, much like Battleship, but you would you would come up with your word, and then it had little tiles you put at the top that's facing you with the word. So you had to put the word backwards, I think. And then there was a dial that had, every time they guessed wrong, you turn the dial, and on the other side facing the other person, it was the line, and then the head, and then the hangman. So you keep turning it until they lost. But then when they get a letter right, you flip it over. Oh man, Hangman was great. There's a red one and a blue one. That was my game. Backgammon, I think counts as a board game. I still don't really understand. I've played it more than twice, and supposedly I did well, but I don't know how to play. Like my aunt and uncles used to play that all the time. They would get together, they'd throw on music and start drinking and smoking and play backgammon like it was the shit. And that's what made me want to play. And then they taught me, and I played like 2 times because the little backgammon things look like candy, and I just wanted to see what was popping. But nah, it seems like a grown-up, like fly shit game like to play now, but people don't play shit no more. That's fly. Like, I would like to play some Bed West, but no one knows how to play Bed West except for like me and my aunts. Anyway, there was a Thundercat board game. You had to find like the pieces of the Sword of the Omens, or find the sword or some shit. Then you had the fake out bargain brand Monopoly game, Going for Broke. You started with $1 million, and you had to spend all your money before everyone else. And so there's like a racetrack that you could go gamble at, and there was a stock market, and there was a casino. You can make donations, but you had to get rid of your money before everybody else. And then the other fake out Monopoly joint was Condominium, and it was like stocks and lotteries, and then it was like you buy rooms for the condo, and who built the condo first won. I don't know, but that was a thing. Hands down, I had Hands Down. Had the big slappy hands that you had to match like cards or the colors. You get a card and you hit the thing and the hand slapped down, and whoever was on the bottom one, I think. But I had it. It had the big slappy hands. I had that. The NFL VCR quarterback game. They had the VCR hockey game. It was cards and a tape, and you shuffle the cards and roll dice and call plays, and then you had to watch it play out or some shit on the VCR. For some fucking reason, there was a Q*bert board game. Like, so you had the Pac-Man board game, even though you had the video game. You got a Q*bert video game, but they gave a board game. But like Q*bert, it was stupid because there were pegs and you had to get them, and then the other person controlled the bad guys, like Coily. I think we should call him Snake. Or was it Coil? I don't know. But there was no reason for a Q*bert fucking board game. Price is Right had one. Like, so someone had to be the host, and then you play pricing games to get the lowest. Like, why am I playing this board game telling you how much a Frigidaire costs? I'm not playing this game. They had Uno dominoes. Now, regular dominoes, It's my shit. I love dominoes. But this like Uno dominoes, it was the without the 5 multiples. You had to match the color, number, or word, and then you had like the reverse dominoes and the skip dominoes. So it was kind of cool, but um, Electric Milton. Because remember Milton, Bradley made all shit, but yeah, Electric Milton, you press buttons and it told you what to do. And if you were wrong, it like made fun of you. It's like, it wouldn't be good for people now because everyone has a mental health. So Pac-Man had a game, which was dumb. Cuber had a game, which is dumb. Let's go a bit further. Rubik's Cube had a board game. It was a scramble game. You shook it and then you had to solve like 5x5 puzzle slide thingies with a piece missing or whatever. It was, I don't know. People's Court had a board game. It had like cases. And there was cards. You had to plead your case, and one person was the judge. One person had to be Judge Wapner. See, if it was me, if I would play, I would have been Doug Llewellyn because that was the man. But People's Court, or Rusty, was it Rusty the bailiff? Come on, man. People's Court was fucking great. And then Triaminos, the little black triangle domino joints. That was fun. I had that. I had Triaminos. It was like dominoes, but the triangles, and you had to line them up and match the numbers. That shit was fun. I know I'm forgetting a lot of board games, but I'm just thinking of what I had and what I saw and some of the commercials that I remember. But those were a lot of the ones that I had, and some of the ones I never played. Now my fave five is kind of chalk. No, it's not chalk because I'm gonna say 3 of them nobody really likes. I'm gonna say of my favorite 5 board games of all time. 1, nobody likes to play because they don't want to finish it. Another one, people don't like to play because they think it takes too long and they have to think. And then 2, then one, no one remembers. And then 4, I think people like. And then the last one, people don't like to play. So here's my 5. Here's my 5. All right, number 5. This is the one that people would probably play, and that's Trouble. Trouble was great. You had the Pop-O-Matic bubble, and then they had Double Trouble. I never got to play that one, but Trouble was dope. You pop the bubble, and then the die, I think, will tell you how many things to move. You move it. That was great. That's number 5. Number 4 is the one that no one remembers and never played, and that's Payday. Payday was super dope. The whole board was like a calendar, and you had to keep getting the payday, but then you had to pay stuff and bills and things happen. It was like life, but better. Payday was great. Man, I want to play Payday. 3 is the one that people just don't like to play, even though it's super dope, and that is Sorry. Sorry is so much fun. Sorry is so much fun. I got it when the Wii came out. I got the Sorry, it was like Sorry sliders. Anytime I can play Sorry, I'm playing it. It's so much fun. With the cards, you play strategy, and you're trying to... Sorry is wonderful. My number 2 favorite board game of all time is the one people don't want to play because it takes too much thought and they think it takes too long, and that is Scrabble. I love Scrabble. I can play Scrabble anytime with anyone. And, you just got to know how to spell words and count. But, it's people... We used to play that in college a lot. We used to play Scrabble a lot. We used to play chess a lot. But the most of the time, we just play spades. And number 1 is the greatest board game of all time that people don't want to finish. And that's what makes me upset. And it's Monopoly. It's Monopoly. Monopoly is great. We played Monopoly so much. We came up with brand. I mean, you have your regular house rules like now put the money under free parking, or now you got to go around once before you get to $200 for pass and go, or you got to go around once before you can buy anything. Everyone has those, but we took it another level. We had IOUs that we wrote to the bank. Like, damn, I ain't got it right now, but no, you wrote an IOU, and then like to buy some shit, and then when you got your money from like people landing on your shit, you had to give that back to the bank for the IOU. You had to come clean as soon as you got the money. You had to give it up. We wrote checks. Yeah. All of this shit is for real. We wrote checks. We had like weird rules to get out of jail. You had to go, like, you would like, if you were like, go mix some bullshit, I'm like, eat this. You eat this, you can get out of jail. Your next roll. I mean, no, Monopoly is great. I never played Advance the Boardwalk. I wanted it, but I never played that. But yeah. So board games, that's where we are. That's what I remember. If I name something that you remember, let me know. Eclectic Podcast, Instagram, Twitter, comment, Apple and Stitcher and Spotify. I don't even know if you can comment on there. But games that you remember playing, games that you hated, the reason why you don't like my top 5, all of that stuff, let me know. But I'm going to get out of here. I appreciate you guys listening. And if you subscribed, I also appreciate that. And until the next time, appreciation.